Of Chicago and Kyle Korver. I watched you play. I mean, Chicago's my squad. I'm born and raised. You guys were like my favorite team because it was the first team that I felt since Michael Jordan that you guys actually had a chance to go really far, possibly make it to the finals and win it. Can you tell me like about that dynamic? I know Jimmy Butler kind of touched base on it. What was that like?
Our team was awesome, man, to be honest. Man, I came from a Utah team, and we were pretty dominated with just me and Darren Williams in the pick and roll. So it was really two guys doing all the scoring. On the team in Chicago, Derrick Rose was averaging 25, got the MVP. Luau was an all-star. I was an all-star. Joakim was an all-star. We brought in Kyle Korver. We brought in Rip Hamilton. We brought in Nate Robinson. We had Quiet Storm one season. We had Taj Gibson, which is a luxury, having a guy that talented come off of your bench. And we had a host of other guys, Keith Bogans, and the list goes on. The team was just full of talent. And I think teams where you get on a group of guys and don't mind sacrificing individual statistics for the greater good, that's what we had. That's why we had so much fun, because we didn't mind D Rose getting all the publicity and getting MVP and scoring 50 points or whatever it was. We just wanted to win. And then we had tough guys. We had gritty guys like Joakim Noah who would do anything. He didn't care if he had 0 points and 13 rebounds. He didn't care if he had 20 points. He just wanted to win. And so when you have a combination of a mix of guys that will sacrifice whatever it is for the whole group to win, that's like one of the funnest teams to be a part of. So our team, we just had so much fun out there because we played for each other. And so to your point earlier, I really do feel like if we could have kept D Rose healthy, I think we would have had at least one championship. You know, it's tough going against the Miami Heat with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade without your best player. We tried, don't get me wrong. We gave it a hell of an effort.
We did.
If we would have had D Rose a couple of those years, we would have broke through.
Well, even that following year when he was out, you guys still made the playoffs.
Yeah, we did.
Still made a strong push.
What's so smooth? Jay Smooth just walked in the building. Let me give my man some love.
Okay, that's cool. So that brings me to my next point, you know, with Tom Thibodeau. A lot of people say these things about him, and he's too hard on his players, but you guys seem to really buy into what he was telling you, and it worked, and it paid off. Yeah. Did you like his style of coaching?
Yeah, we're old school, though. I mean, I'm going to be honest, man, the NBA's got a lot of crybabies in it nowadays. Yeah. And unfortunately, they've been given everything, and we came from a generation where you had to work your butt off for everything. So Tibbs is a coach that you gotta prove it. Like, he's coached Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, and taking it even back further to Patrick Ewing and, you know, some real Hall of Fame guys, and these guys were all workaholics. So if these guys are in the Hall of Fame putting in 6 hours a day in the gym, he's going to come to our team and think, look, guys, if you guys put the work in, you'll have success. And we all enjoyed it. Me, Joakim, D Rose, Luau Deng was an Iron Man. You know, all our group of guys love to work, and some of these guys in the new generation don't really love to work that hard. And that's why I think Jimmy had a problem in Minnesota, because some of those guys are extremely talented, more talented than we were, but don't have the same work ethic. So, and you guys know how it is. Yeah. If you get great talent with great work ethic, you end up having a Kobe Bryant, you know, a Tim Duncan kind of career. And if you have great talent but you don't work so hard, then you have a less stellar career. And Jimmy knows that.
Well, yeah, so how do you change that? I mean, how do you change that? I mean, is it just the way the league is going, or is there a way to change back to playing that gritty style of basketball and putting the work in? I mean, is there a way to fix it, or is that just the way it's going now?
I think it comes with leadership.
Yeah.
You know, in Chicago, we had a team full of leaders. You know, everybody was okay with putting extra hours in. Everybody was okay with coming and having late shooting sessions at night at the UC. I think Jimmy was trying to implement that in Minnesota with his leadership, because Jimmy's also that same cut from that same cloth where he had to work for everything that he earned, because he was playing behind Derrick Rose, who's an MVP, Luau Deng, who's an all-star, so he didn't get to play right away his rookie year, his second year. He had to earn his minutes. And then you come to a team like Minnesota, and he's seeing guys that were just given things that don't have the same work ethic as him. But there are guys that work, man. You look at what Dame Lillard and C.J. McCollum is doing in Portland. You look at what Kyrie's been able to do with that Boston group, that young group. But Tatum has a great working pedigree. There's a lot of guys that are leaders that have that same do whatever it takes, work my butt off to succeed mentality. So I think our league is in great hands. The NBA is in great hands. I really do believe that. I just think there's a few guys out there that are a little sensitive when it comes to criticism.
I would agree with that.
So
Derrick Rose, you know, he went down with all those injuries, one that could have ended his career.
Yeah.
And at one point, everyone thought his career might be over. Yeah. Seeing what he was able to do this season, Tom Thibodeau believed in him, gave him another chance. What was that like? You know, you're a former teammate, you're friends with this guy. What was that like, seeing that?
It was just so good to see Pooh shine, man. He's been through a lot, more than what people know, because Pooh is he's a very private guy. I don't know if you got the chance to watch this documentary, but it's awesome. I had to watch it a couple times. And I reached out to him, so I'm just proud of him because he opened up. And he's never really been that kind of guy. Like, we all know him because we're teammates and friends of his. But to the public eye, to his city in Chicago, to his fans across the world, they didn't get a chance to really see Pooh until that documentary. And then you see how much he bled, sweat, teared, cried. Like, you saw the moment where he got traded. It hurt him. And he knows it's a business. He's super smart and super educated, and he knows it's a business. But he really wanted to be in Chicago. And even Quiet. I mean, listen, I know this is an interview, but quiet is kept. Like, I feel like low key, he would love to be able to end his career where he grew up at, where he's from, and hopefully he'll get a chance to do that just for his own legacy. But I really love what Jabari Parker said about D Rose, him being from Simeon and being from Chicago. He was like, look, D Rose is a legend. Injuries happen in this game. Anytime you push your body to the limit, you're subject to getting hurt. And we all been there as athletes. I've been hurt a million times. Everybody has. But he just took a lot more scrutiny and a lot more criticism than I thought he deserved. It was unfair. And to see him shine, man, and ball out in Minnesota, I mean, honestly, for a second, I thought he was going to make the All-Star team the way he was playing. He was playing so great in the Western Conference. I thought he was very close to making an All-Star team. So for me, he's having a great career. He's a changed man. He's got kids, and very happy in his personal life, and he's flourishing on the court, and I'm happy to see that.
The biggest thing that I took away when I interviewed him for the first time was the first time I ever met him too, and I could tell that he had opened up more, and that I was happy to see that maturity in him because he used to be very closed off. Where people misconstrued things that he would say, try to make him look bad, and then I talked to him, I'm like, wow, he's really opening up now, and it was really great to see.
Yeah, he's growing, man. That's a great thing about someone who's open to change, and also living his life where he's not going to look back. I think one of the things about D Rose that makes him special is he doesn't look back. Everything is a learning experience for him. If he looks back, it's only to grow, and you can see how much he's grown. You can tell in his personal life, he looks so happy. And on the court life, he's just playing free and just having fun out there with his teammates. And the other thing, remember when he had that 50-point game? And he blew up and he cried and the fans felt him and he went in the locker room and his whole teammates embraced him with love and admiration? That just shows you what kind of locker room guy he is. They love him. We love him. So anyway, I thought the whole documentary was awesome. I'm really happy for D Rose. I secretly want him to end his career in Chicago, go back home,
we all do,
and get a chance to play for the Bulls again with that young core. By the way, they got a good young core. I like Levine. I like Markkanen a lot. I even like Dunn. I think if they get a top 5, really a top 3 pick, they can really make some noise. But Chicago,
veterans would be nice.
Yeah, you always want to have a good mixture of young super talent and then some OGs who have been through the fire to school you. So I think Chicago's on the right path. It's really tough because we all wish we could go back in time and have a healthy group and replay all those playoff series. But it's part of life.
Do you have any teammates that were your favorite?
Yeah, Nate Robinson. I mean, right away, as soon as he came, we got the same personality. We're just in 2 different packages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's one of those guys that this guy baked us cupcakes for every road trip. He's a real yes.
Really?
Baked us cupcakes for every single road trip. How do you not love that guy?
Well,
and then the other thing about Nate, for a basketball perspective, is he never missed one practice. He never missed any games. He never complained about injuries. He never bickered or moaned about his playing time. He just gave you 100% heart every time he was out there. From a teammate, that's something that you can respect and appreciate, and you want that guy on your team. You want to go through wars with a guy like that. So me and Nate got a lot of similarities, and we just got a great friendship, a great bond right away. And it's good to see him a part of this Big 3, too. He had a great season last year, too. Looking forward to seeing what he does this year.
Well, people forget that, he forced, was it quadruple overtimes in that one playoff game?
He was cooking all by himself.
He was.
We was down by 12 or 14 or something, and Nate literally brought us back by himself.
He did.
No D Rose, no Kirk Hinrich. He stepped up in a major way. Didn't complain about the minutes. Whatever you need, I'll give you whatever you need. And we needed some buckets, and he brought us buckets.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this interview has been 15, 20 minutes long, so we might need to. Well, this is
we could talk forever.
Well, this is the broadcast guy deciding you, because that's what you're trying to go into, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
You're doing a good job. I love it.
It's fun, man. I do a lot of TNT stuff, NBA TV stuff, and ESPN and Fox, and you name it. It's a cool. I've never been on this side. Now that I'm on this side, I remember all the dumb questions I used to get asked. And so now I'm like, I want to get, like you are. You're very creative with your questions. You're deep in thought about it. And
Thank you.
for me, I think as players out there, we always get the, well, how'd it feel to have 50? Well, it felt great. I had 50.
How do you think it felt?
How'd it feel when you missed that game winner? Well, it sucked because I missed that game winner.
And I lost.
I think it's important to dig deeper with the athlete because, to be honest, so many of us are much more deeper than just basketball players.
Yeah.
We have an outside life away from the game. We have other interests, whether that be art or we did an interview. Me and Nate do a podcast for Uninterrupted, and we did an interview where we interviewed Willie Cauley Stein out there in Sacramento. This guy's a painter. Like he paints big murals like this on a regular basis just for therapy, just to get away from the game. And I'm over here like, this kid's 21, 22 years old, and he's over here like a Picasso kind of dude. So it's just cool to see what guys got going on outside of basketball.
I agree. We're going to wrap this up, but congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you very much.
Gorgeous baby, and I'm really happy for you and everything that you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great interview.